Hey friends, it's your Realtor Peter Scott here with our quick real estate market update. Today is February 2nd, 2025. So far, the real estate market in Sacramento area has been off to a good start. We had listings actually were higher this year in January than they were last year, so that's always a good thing. We've been struggling with low inventory for the last couple of years, but we did have pending sales were still a bit low, and sales were still on the lower side. That's to be expected though. January, December are the slowest months in real estate, so we are expecting the spring market to heat up here in February and March. About 40% of all homes right now are actually getting multiple offers. That might be surprising for you to hear, but if a house is priced well, it's very attractive there, and you like it, there's chances are there's 3, 4, 5 other people who like it too, and they're going to make offers on it. Now that's 40% of homes. The other 60% take a little bit longer to sell. A lot of times you see them sitting on the market for a couple of months at a time before they sell. It just depends, how they're priced and how attractive they are. But usually price can fix those things. Like I mentioned, the spring market certainly is warming up, and we're expecting to see more listings on the market in February and March, and more people just kind of coming out of the woodwork, more home buyers coming out of the woodwork. That's just kind of typically what we see every year. We're still battling low inventory, as I mentioned. This has been going on for a couple of years. We have low inventory on one side and we have low buyer demand on the other side. This is caused by higher interest rates that have basically doubled in the last couple of years. So right now rates are sitting about 7%, although I have seen clients locking rate in the 6s or as low as 6%. So it just depends on the lender you get, and sometimes the lenders are going to compete for your business and they can get those numbers lower. So it just depends on you and your situation and your credit and a couple other factors. But just because you see 7% online doesn't mean that's the rate you're going to get. So you can talk to different people and maybe get some different rates there as well. Good news, if you own a house in the Sacramento region, home prices actually rose about 3 to 4% across the board, depending on where you're at. And that's about typical for our area. It's kind of like we like to see about, at the rate of inflation, 2 to 3%. We don't want to see giant spikes, and the market's not going down anytime because, as I mentioned, we have low inventory, and it's not in the cards. We'd have to have a glut of inventory for prices to start going down, and that's just not in the horizon. You may have heard President Trump talk about lowering mortgage rates. He cannot directly turn down lower mortgage rates. He can't just turn a dial and say, okay, we're going to go back to 3% rates. That would be great, but he can't do that. Mortgage rates are tied mostly to the bond market and the Federal Reserve and their interest rates. One thing that he can do, however, is he can reduce the fees that the government charges on the back end for loans, and he can also reduce regulation. That would help soften interest rates. So it'll be nice to see if he does that and see what kind of impact that actually has on mortgage rates. So we'll see on that. And you may be wondering about the tariff wars that were just kind of exploding right now as I'm talking about it. That's a lot of big headlines. Will the tariff wars, these trade wars, will it affect the real estate market if you're looking to buy a house or sell a house? My opinion, no, I don't think so. The only thing it would really affect would be new construction homes, as they maybe supply materials from overseas, and those might be affected by these tariffs. But if a house is already built, it's already sitting there, it's really not going to affect the price of that house, unless you're planning on adding another 1,000 square feet, and again, some of those supplies may be affected in there. But overall, I don't think we're going to see any effect on that. So, hope this helps. Hope you have a great week, and stay safe out there.